in life, you really have to come to terms with the fact that you cannot entrust your life or your ideas or your judgment or your goal setting to anybody. You are, in the end, responsible. When you go to sleep at night, you are the product of your own decisions. And this was impressed on me very early, pretty early in my life. I was like the 7th grade, I don't know, would have been about 12 or 13. And my mother decided to take us on a trip to Western Tennessee. And she wanted to visit Sergeant York and talk with him about World War II. And then he wasn't really interested in that. He really wanted to know what was going on outside his house and what the weather was like. And my mom just didn't seem to get it. But anyway, so it was kind of embarrassing. But anyway, so we continued on this little trip of hers we were going to a little cave. It was a little cave. It was really basically a glorified hole in the ground. There were no signs. The locals knew about it, and she got a local guide, a woman, to, and there was us kids and her and a bunch of other tourist types or whoever they were, and so she let us down into the hole in the cave, and it wasn't very big, maybe 8 feet high and 12, 15 feet wide, and it was just kind of meandering along. And at one point we came to a place where she stopped, and there was on the right-hand side, there was an opening, and it was and the opening, it was very rectangular. It was like 5 feet wide and about 6, 7 feet tall, and it was completely black. She says, make sure you don't go there because, we've thrown rocks down there and we've never heard them hit. You get the point. There's, if you don't hear something hit, even if there's water, it's got to be a ways down there. And if you get down there and you're still living, it's going to be a while before they can get you out. So, it's kind of serious business. It was appropriate to say something about it so somebody didn't just wander off because it was only a few feet off the place that we were walking. Well, okay, we continued on down, walking along. There were no stalactites or stalagmites. There was just, it was just kind of a rocky kind of cave. And eventually we got to the end, and we sat around and ate our lunch. And after a bit, we started back, and she was in front, and I was behind her. My mother was behind me, and then everybody else was trailing along behind. Well, after a bit, she stops and she turns to us and she says, I'm going to go up there. And there was a little rise in the cave floor, like 6, 7 feet up to the right. And she started climbing up there, and she says, you guys go ahead. You guys go ahead down the path there, and I'll catch up to you. Well, I took a look at the place she was pointing, and it was the black door. It was the doorway. She said, don't go. We haven't heard rocks hit yet. They may still be falling to the center of the earth for all we know. And I said, no, that's the doorway you were talking about. And she says, no, it isn't. Go ahead. And my mother's behind me, and kind of pushing me on the back and says, go ahead, son. Don't get us lost. So, I've got a little common sense by this time in this family for obvious reasons, and I step aside, and I, sweep my hand and say, you first, Mom. I mean, really, I'm serious. I ain't going down that path. And at this point, the guide is up there, and she says, "Oh, you're right." I mean, you're right. That is the door. Go. That is the door. And I'm just thinking, whew, thank you. Nobody got killed. Including me. I mean, I'm just saying, you got to be careful. Somebody in authority tells you something, you got to pay attention to exactly what they're saying and the implications. And it could be your family's a member. It could be any society or the press or TV or the president or, it doesn't matter. You got to be responsible, because, if you're dead, you can't haul these people into court. The most they're going to do is send you flowers to your grave. A lot of good that is going to do you.